Hey everyone, so hope all of you are doing great. Now today we are going to dive deep into AutoGen Studio, which is a UI based application via which we can build AI agents and team without writing a single line of code. The same is based on Microsoft AutoGen, which is a framework for building AI agents and application, but which requires knowledge of code as well as to understand how the whole framework is designed. Along with that, we will see that how can we install and set it up on a system, understanding each and every of the components along with its UI elements, and further see that how can we build and test teams to make sure that we can ask them to do a particular task for us, which we can see as well. So let's say if I'm asking what is the capital of France, we will understand how exactly it is able to give us the answer, why it stopped, and also understand that what are these tools, termination condition, and how can we use them so as to make our agents and the team a lot more stronger and smarter. So let's get started. Okay, so first let us see how can we install and set it up on a system. Now for that, I'm going to go to VS Code, where we will be understanding many things via this notebook as well, which you surely can download from the resource section. Now, let us try to first see the basic definition to understand AutoGen again. AutoGen, a web-based tool that lets you create AI agents visually. That is no coding required. It's built on Microsoft AutoGen framework, which is all about making smart agents that can chat, solve problem, or even help with task. So the very first thing which we have to do everyone to install the same and what I normally recommend. So let me just write installation here. What are the steps for installation? Let's see. Yeah. So the very first thing is to create an environment, right? So we can use either Conda or VENV, or let's say a very famous package which is UV to install to create an environment and activate it so that it doesn't cause any issue with the global Python installation. Now, what we have to do once we have installed, created the environment, and once we have also activated that, as you can see in my case as well, I have a virtual environment activated. Then we have to do pip install AutoGen Studio. Okay, so pip is the recommended way of installing it. If in case you are installing it into some project or you are maintaining a requirement.txt file, then again it is very easy. AutoGen Studio is what you have to mention, and it is going to download the latest version of AutoGen Studio. Okay, so I can just click enter here, and you can see that how it has installed the same. Now in your PC, it may happen that some more dependencies are there, so surely it is going to download them. And let me just take you to the installation page as well. So two ways to download. First is by PyPy, which is your pip only. Okay, creating and activating the environment as I told you, either by Conda, V virtual environment or UV, and then simply we can install it. In case if you would like to build it from source, then this is the second method. But as I said, the totally recommended way is using the pip command only. Now, once we have the same installed, then what we have to do is the second thing. So let me just write it here. Activate the environment. So the first two actually I've done already. Third thing here is to export your OpenAI API key. So I will tell you why this is required. Normally, it is suggested that if you are exporting it, then it will be easier to use in your AutoGen Studio. So let me do one thing, export, and make sure that you properly write this thing, Open API key. And here I can just go to my environments. And again, you can have the key, you can easily create the same as well. And let me just export the same. Great. Now, once it has been exported, after that, we can just write AutoGen Studio. Okay. And I can just write UI and enter it first. Okay. Okay, I think it has started on the exact thing. Let me just close it and show you a few more things which I want to show you. So AutoGen Studio is the command UI hyphen hyphen help. Right here, we will see all the parameters which we have. So we have the host. Of course, by default, it is your local host. Then we can provide a port as well, which is 8081. Workers and everything we can for the time ignore. The thing which I wanted to show you from here is this app directory. okay, where you can specify that where you want to store when it is running any files or something. And that is normally helpful if you have multiple installation, or normally would like to have a location where these things are getting stored. And of course we can use our own database, so we can have the database URI, some configuration. But majorly I just wanted to show you this app directory thing, and something which is mentioned in the or in this official documentation as well. Now I can just write AutoGen Studio UI hyphen port. We can provide the default port only 8081 hyphen app directory, where I can provide this directory. Okay. So yeah, now I think we can just click enter, and AutoGen Studio should start at this particular port and host. Let me go back. I think yeah, it was in the same only. Let me just paste it and run it. And we have this studio right in front of us. Okay. So yeah, running is I think pretty easy. Microsoft has made that pretty much straightforward. And these are the exact command which I'm following from the overall documentation. So I think don't think that should be a problem. These are few things which I explained you, because I believe that if you are building something without writing any code, at least you should have an idea that what are the different parameters or options which you have at your disposal, right? So with that, everyone, now I guess this is the playground, which is the default selected option. Maybe let me expand it a little bit. Great. Now this is the AutoGen UI. Now, of course, you can either choose the dark mode or you can choose the light mode. Then further, this is where most of the magic will happen. That is where we will be building the team, just as I showed you in the intro, right? Inside team, we have the agents, models, tools, termination, etc. So we will be understanding them in a bit. After that, then we can, of course, go to the gallery, right? Where we have some default component gallery. So one thing you will notice when you also start the same, you will have many things which are pre-given to you, so that you can directly go and start building your agents or team. And these are the things which are provided by Microsoft. So when you start it, you also will be having all these things, right? So I've done a exact installation in front of you, and you will have all these things in your disposal, via which you can also do any complex task as well. Now, lab, I think, is something which we can ignore. It is still in the experimental phase. That should all be fine. And then is the deployment, which we will cover towards the end once we have covered the use cases as well. Okay. Now, before we start working on this, there are two things which I want that we cover. The very first thing which I want you to do is go to settings. In this, let's go to the default model, and don't worry, I will explain what exactly are these models and everything is. In the model part, just click edit model, and here make sure that you provide your API key again. Okay, so let me just copy it again once. Let me copy this. So again, you can test it quickly if you want. It is showing an error, right? Incorrect API key. And I'm just providing it, doing a test again. And seems like now it has passed. Okay, now normally it will work if you have just exported just as I said it, just as I asked you to do. But making sure that before doing anything, we are testing it out here. That's a very good practice to, so that we are all aware that yes, our model is going to work. Along with that, you can of course set some environment variable here as well if required, right? And I think now we have set it up properly, and we are sure that our studio is connected to an LLM for any of our query which we wanted to solve. So now let's go to the team builder, where all the magic will happen, where exactly we will be doing the work of building our teams. But before we dive into creating a new team or dragging and dropping any of these components, I would like to first give you a very quick brief on what are exactly these different components, right? So these agents, models, tools, termination, and team. This is something which I want to explain to all of you, as I believe this is required so that you can use these things in a very proper manner, right? So instead of mindlessly dragging and dropping and let's say waiting for our team to work, I believe a quick understanding of this will help a lot, as they are a little bit different from other frameworks in AutoGen. So let us try to understand these things. Now let me go to a place where I can actually explain to you a little bit visually, right? Without writing a lot of code or something. So yeah, there are few things which we have to understand here. And these are in terms. Like first is going to be agents, right? Then second is something which is tools. Okay. Third is model, right, which we have configured as well. Fourth is going to be a team. And then in the last, we have the termination condition. Termination condition. So these are also the things which we see in the UI. If we will go here, we will see that how it start with teams, and in the component we have agents, models, tools, and termination, right? So let us understand them one by one. Let's first understand about agent. Let me just drag and drop something. Great. So visually, this small something which is written AI is our agent. Okay. So that's our AI agent actually. Now, coming to agents, I'm pretty sure that these are at the core of any agentic AI framework, right? So, in AutoGen, of course, as well, we have agents which are going to handle any task. They are like our AI assistant, okay, which are going to handle any task which we give to them. Most commonly, we have the assistant agent, something known as assistant agent. As the name suggests, it is going to assist us via AI in making sure that they can help us in doing something. We will be assigning some roles to them, right? So just as we go on chat gpt, or let's say on any other AI, right, let's say llama or any other LLM, when we ask them that hey, you are this and you have to, let's say, provide me a code for this, these are just the instructions or the prompt which we are setting, right? And on that note, my agent, right, it can have a name, it can have a description, it surely will have a model as well. So I will tell you what exactly is this model, and it can have a system message. Okay. So let me show you this as well in the UI. So let's say here, if I select a little bit of advanced team, let me just copy this pre-provided team by AutoGen Studio. In this, if we see, we have this multi-model web agent, right? So I can go to this. I will just zoom in a little bit and get some extra space. And what you have to do is you can just edit on this agent. Okay, you can just edit on this agent. Now we see that how this agent has a name. Okay, how we have the description. That description is merely for us like to understand what exactly this does. Multimodal web servers is a multimodal agent that act as a web server that can search the web and visit web pages. Then if we go on the configuration, they are a little bit different, right? So this is a generic understanding or details. Here we have the name again. Then we are just giving it a start page because it is a different kind of agent. Let me just show you one more, the very basic assistant agent which is present, which we will be using a lot. In this assistant agent, again, we have the name. Okay, so this is assistant agent. Then we have the model client. Okay, so this is going to use GPT-4o mini. So model is like the brain of any agent, right? So surely your agent need to have a understanding, it needs to have an AI LLM or brain attached to it, via which it can help you answer question, it can help you do a task, it can give you some number of steps, right? So those are the model, that is exactly is the model. And we are saying that here the model is GPT-4o mini, right? After that, we have a system message as well, which in a way is just telling that what exactly is the role which our agent has to take. So you are a task verification assistant who is working with a web server agent, and we are just telling it that you have to respond with terminate if everything is fine. So that is where the role of a model comes into picture. So much like any LLM, we have these models, OpenAI, ChatGPT, like these are the basic one provided. Now, surely you can add any new model. I think this was something which I did. Now we can just provide this new model, and the models which supports OpenAI chat completion client, that can be used here. Okay, so I think I can show you that maybe in the settings again, in the default model. Yeah, so OpenAI chat completion client, right? If it is supporting this, that those are the models which we can use. So let's get back, and I think if I go back on the board, yeah. So we have also understood about the models here, everyone. So each agent, it will be having for sure a model. Okay, so this model is something which our agent will be having. Let me just draw this. Yeah. Now The next thing which our agent can have, okay, and it is very important to understand because that is how you will be able to drag and drop things rightly. Okay, so for example, if let's say I go to a simple team, I cannot go to a, let's say, model, or let's say some tool. I cannot drag and drop it here. Okay, that will be wrong. So that is why it is understanding to first have an idea that what are these components. Now the next thing which our agent can have, it is known as tool. Okay, and it is an optional component. Let me just add the icon. So let's say our agent can have tool, much like we as human. Okay, we have different tool at our disposal. For example, you can have a PC on which you can search. We have the Google homepage or Bing homepage on which we can easily search things. We can have calculator, right? So I can very easily open calculator to do the calculation, which is a tool for me. In a very similar manner, in a very similar manner, our agent can also have these tools. So let me just write it here, the tools which are optional. Okay, model is a necessity because surely we will be using the brain, but tools are optional, and these are majorly the things which are required by my agents. Okay, so this is what define your agent. And even if we go back here, we will see that how this assistant agent, if we go on editing it, like first we can understand this is the overall name and the description, and we see the model and the tool attached to our agent. Okay, after that the next thing is that we are building teams here. So as the name suggests, coming to teams, okay, so it is going to be multiple agents working together, right? So let's say we can have three agents who are working together, and we can have a three, let's say, type of three agent team, right? Much like we work together. Let me just have it here only. Yeah, great. One more thing which I would like to mention here is that just like we have an assistant agent, okay, which would use a LLM to search and help you with some task. One more type which I want you to always remember is the user proxy agent. Okay, as the name suggests, it is a proxy for user. So anytime in your team, if a user input is required, this is the type of agent which we will be using. And since we will be understanding a complex use case, you will understand that where exactly this user proxy comes into picture. Now, once we are done with agents, tools, and models, okay, next we can have the team, which I have kind of tried to draw here. So a team, of course, is based on multiple agents. Like it can have a single agent as well. So we can have something known as a single agent team, and that is something actually we have here. But the thing which I want you to notice is that team is built on a separate component. Okay, so it is not that we are just dragging and dropping. If I want to add more agents here, it is going to get added. This separate component is team, and I have two agents here. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about team. There are few things which you want to understand. Of course, a team will consist of agents, so that is one component which the team should have. Second component which I would like to explain is this termination. Okay, so let us try to understand this. Let's say if I give my team a task, like let's say these are the three agents which I give some task. Okay, now what tells my team that okay, the task has to be stopped. Like let's say I normally ask them that what is the calculation. I ask them something ki what is capital of France. Now, of course, this can give Paris. This can give Paris. This can give Paris as an answer. And this thing can keep on happening, right? This whole thing can keep on happening. So that is where there is a need of a termination condition, which tells my team when to stop. Because if that is not there, then it is going to be a free fall, and we will never like our team will never know, or we will never be able to stop our team. And that is where termination condition come into picture. Termination condition or conditions, like we can have multiple condition as well. And this is something which we will see here as well. We have the or termination condition. Now I will tell you some basic termination condition. So we can have a condition where let's say once our agents or team has done some work, we are asking them to tell terminate. Okay, simple terminate. This is something which we saw in the first example. So if I, let's say, just delete this agent, if I just quickly do a test run, if I do a test run here, and if I ask what is the capital of France, then we will see that since it has mentioned this terminate in this message, it has stopped. And we can see the stop reason as well. Text terminate mentioned. And of course, now we have the overall this flow, which I will explain you once we dive deep. One more thing which I would like to explain, and I think that can be the last thing in the team, is how these agents are going to interact, right? So we normally have this team of agents. Let me just copy them somehow. Okay, great. So pay attention. Now this, let's say, is one team and this is other team. One of the way through which our team can, let's say, interact with the agent is a round robin format. So let's say this is my first agent, this is my second agent, and this is the third agents. Now these agents, they are going to talk one after the another. So let's say the first agent will talk first, then we will have second agent, and then we can have third agent. Okay, so pretty valid thing. Just like things happen in a round robin manner, the first agent is going to speak, then the second agent, and then the third agent. So that is one of the way of creating our team, and that is known as the round robin approach. Let me just write it down, because this is again something which we will see, round robin uh, team. Okay, another very common approach is something which happens, let's say, in a panel, like when people are sitting, and that is known as selector group chat. Okay, selector group chat. As the name suggests, here we will be selecting, right? So for example, let's say this person is a history expert. Okay, this person is a geography expert, and this person maybe is, let's say, again some science expert. Okay, now when the question comes, our selector group chat, again it will also be having a brain. I hope you understand what that means. Surely it is having a model, right? So that is why understanding is required. And if I ask a question about history, because this team will understand that yes, history is something which this agent excels in, the call is going to go to history agent. Okay, and same for science and geography. And of course we can have different agents there. Let's say one is doing the research, then one is writing something, and one is the reviewer. Now, well, let's say the reviewer say that more research is required. So instead of going in a proper predefined sequence, in selector group chat we can have a sequence which will be defined based on the query, based on how the conversation is flowing, right? To quickly show you that as well, because I think this will answer a lot of doubt, like many people don't have this understanding. See, I can just copy this selector team, and now in this team you see that it is having a brain, right? It is having this model requirement. So again, a pretty simple team. We have the team which, let's say, team with two agent, an assistant agent with a calculation tool, and a critique agent in a selector group chat manner. Here we can understand, I will just show you that you are in a role play game. The following are the roles available, and this is how we can send the information. So this team, the selector group chat team, it is having the idea that which agent is doing what, right? So this description and name which we write, right? This description and name, this is something which our team is having an idea and giving it a brain. So that is the reason if we go to the round robin manner, we don't have a model here, right? We have just have agents and termination. But in a selector team, we have the model as well. So model, agents, and termination. Okay, so a pretty important thing to know. Now, based on the understanding, this is where my team is going to take this call that who should answer, or who should basically go next. Okay, and after that, of course, we can have termination condition. Now I would like to just tell a little bit about termination condition as well. So we can have a text mention termination, which I showed you, where let's say if agents are saying terminate or done, uh, our team is going to stop. We can have a max message termination as well. So as the name suggests, we are going to say that okay, just have 5 message. Okay, so let's say, just if I put up a query, after 5 message you have to stop. Okay, so we will see the practical as well, but I'm pretty sure that it should be understood. And we can have an or of these conditions, like we can have multiples of termination as well. Like let's say either if the team stops or if they have the 5 message. So that is how I think it will go. And yeah, I think this important thing which was required here, that is done. So if I just quickly show you what all we have covered, we understood about agents, what are the components in agents. Then we understand about team and the termination conditions. And we also understood that how agents inside the team can interact with one another. So that was also very, very important thing to understand. Now, if I have to just quickly summarize, this let's say big box is of team. Okay, this is a team big box. Inside this team, we have seen that how, if required, it can have a model, and of course it can have a termination condition. So model requirement is kind of based on let's say particularly if it is a selector group chat, not in a round robin manner, because round robin there is no mind which has to be kept, right? The first one is will go first, then it will be second one, then the third one, and then we will keep on going like this. Okay, now inside this let me just go a little bit graphic only. We can have different agents. So we can have this agent, let's say 1, agent 2, and say agent 3. And of course each of these agents, they will be having a model, right? So these agents will be having a model. Let me, okay, how can I write here it? So let us select this, and yeah, now our agent, they can, or they surely will be having a model, because of course every agent requires a brain. And if required, we it can have a tool as well, right? So tool, as I said, it is an add-on, much like we have a tool. Then I think it is easier for the agent to do the task which we are asking it to do. Okay, so yeah, that I think was all which was required for the understanding. And now this canvas, so let me choose a easy team first. This canvas will make a lot of sense, right? So as we can see now, let us quickly go through the UI component as well. Pretty sure the team builder is kind of understood. Now let us try to just reverse engineer it. In the gallery is where these things are defined. Now I'm pretty sure all these 5 are clear to you. We have some pre-built teams. Okay, we have the agents which are defined as well. So assistant agent, and we can like delete them as well here, right? So assistant agent, web server agent, verification assistant, and user proxy agent. Okay, so I told you that user proxy agent is also something which we have. Now we have the tools. So we have multiple tools here. I will just like to show you the code for this. Again, you don't have to write it, but in the backend, like this is just having this code only. Okay, so the idea is that if you're writing a function, your agent will be smart enough to understand that yes, this is the function or tool which I have to use, and you can mention it in the system message as well. And along with that, if required, you can enter a new tool. Like if I go and let's say edit this, I can just enter any code and it will be able to use it. But again, as I told you, it's a no code thing, so we should be good here. And we have multiple tools. Similarly, we have different models. I think this is very much explanatory. Just I told you that how OpenAI chat completion is something which our model should support. And I will also show you that how can we use a local model as well here. Okay. So in this, we can see that we can define it. And we are using ChatGPT 4o mini. So totally fine. And we have the termination conditions, right? So let me just delete it. We have this termination condition, and if required, we can add them as well, right? So we can see that how the same can be added. One more thing which I would like to show you is that how can you import a gallery. So either we can upload it or we can just paste the JSON here, right? We can just paste a JSON. Now, if you are aware about, say, AutoGen framework, which I showed you in the starting, then of course you can write some complex code and define some more complex things there and export that as a JSON. Okay, so we will see that as well towards the end, and we can paste it here, or else we can just import the URL, let's say JSON provided. Now this is a sample gallery.json thing, again provided by Microsoft, which is this exact same default gallery. Okay, so again exactly the same from Microsoft. And I'm pretty sure that as it gets a lot mainstream, we will have some awesome galleries as well. Okay, if you are able to create one, do share it with me, and yeah, surely I will cover that in the next video. Now let's go to deploy. Okay, let's go to deploy. This is where how we can deploy our agents. So again, we will see that a little bit towards the end. In the playground, this is actually where we can test out our agents. So just like we were testing it out here, let's say when I was running it, if I go back to the round robin one, we can test them out here as well. And here everything will be saved. So it is not just a quick check. Here it is properly getting maintained, much like in any LLM, chat GPT or anything, right? So I can create a new agent. Let me just delete it. So we can select, see, if we click on this particular button, we can select which team we want to basically use. Now here I say I want to use a round robin team, and it is going to just create a new session here. So, okay, so this is the selected team. Now I can ask it what is the capital of France, and it is showing us the full working. Okay, so we can see that how what is the capital of France, then agent team was used, how the stop reason was this, and what exactly were the steps. So we can see that what is the capital of France, how exactly was the workflow. So I can provide like click this full screen button to see the whole workflow. Then we have the switch to horizontal layout, hide labels. I think the labels will be like this. Yeah, I think we can have them, and some other approaches as well, right? Just to show you by let's say 1 minute. Yeah, so by doing it fully, see our user, then we have the assistant agent, and we saw that how it ended. We can just get it. Yeah, and of course we can just continue, like let's say what is the capital of America, maybe we can ask this, and it is just going to see that what is the answer. Just one thing more you will notice here, two things rather, it is showing you the tokens as well. Second thing, as I explained you in the termination condition, since in the first message it didn't mention terminate, it got terminated after this particular message. Okay, so this thing is important to understand. Like in the first message, terminate was around here only. Since it is not here, we are able to see this in the next message, and that is when my agent stopped. Okay, so yeah, and the good thing is that this will still stay here, so we can come back to it. That is not the case when we do this quick check. Okay, now as I said, let me just yeah, so here we can create our teams, everyone. We can create some new team. We can import the teams from gallery, that is the one which I provided by Microsoft, or in the default gallery. I think that is pretty much clear now. We can see this components library as well. Again, these are the one which we saw in the gallery tab. And one more thing which I would like to show you is that how let's say when we are building it, we have two options, right? So for example, let's say I can go to the JSON as well. Okay, now again, as I told you in the starting, no code experience, but yes, still JSON is provided. And here you can actually make a change as well. So just as an example, let's say I remove the tool here. Okay, so let me go and select some tool. Let me go to round robin one. Okay, and we can see the JSON, and I can maybe remove some tool here. Okay, so this is the tool which was there, and let me remove it. So let me remove this. Make sure that JSON doesn't get messed up. Okay, yeah, cool. So if I save this now, if I just not this save, if I save this now, let's say here, then if I go back on the visual one, we will see that how again the tool has been deleted. And now, of course, I can easily drag and drop the tool, right? If I go on JSON, there will be a change and tool will be added again. Okay, so that is the whole idea. Now, with this, let's switch to the visual builder only. We have the download team. I think it is going to download it in the JSON format. So we can click on this download. It is asking team config.json, right? And it makes sense. Like we can copy paste or share our team in future. Then we have this save thing. So anytime we are making a change here, this is validate team. So as to make sure that if you do any mistake, okay, let's say if you have any problems, just to try it out. Let's say I delete this. Okay, and if I try to validate the team, maybe it will give some error or something. I think it has not been saved. Okay, let us go to the JSON thing and let us try to validate it now. Okay, I think it is not taken that changes maybe. So if we have actually messed something up, then I think this validation will fail. And of course, we can run, and this run is very much similar. The session will be closed, deleted on close, and we can ask it for the answer. Okay. So yeah, I think this all will now make a lot of sense. And this is a very good intro into the basics of AutoGen Studio, right? Now, let us move forward. We have understood that how can we build the team. Let me just get rid of some extra teams which I showed you. And let us start from the very basic team. Okay. Now, let's say if I know that we have now understood this whole thing, we have the first team, which is the round robin team. Okay, everyone. In this, we have the assistant agent, which I can change. So let's say helpful agent. We have the agent that provide assistant with tool use. Maybe I don't want to use the tool. I'm deleting it. You are an helpful agent. Solve task carefully. When done, say terminate. And I'm saving these changes. I am, can I copy this here? No. So I am going to just drag another agent. Okay. So I'm dragged another agent. In this as well, let's say what I can do is, let me just do one thing to show that, let's say if I edit the team now, I can go on to this condition. So this is an or condition actually where multiple conditions can be added. What we can do rather is we can just quickly go to edit, and I can just go here, and we can just remove this text mention condition. Okay. And rather I can just say that, okay, stop after 5 message. So what I have done is I told you about these terminations, right? I have removed the case where the team stops when it encountered that terminate word. Instead, it is going to run for 5 messages. Okay. So let me just get rid of this minimap. I don't like this, and we can run this. And let's understand what is the capital of France. Pay attention. See, the capital of France is Paris. Terminate. But our agent didn't got terminated. Okay, so our team didn't got terminated. It made sure that it is completing these 5 steps. And one more thing you will understand, how very first time it was assistant agent, then it was assistant agent 1, then assistant agent, then assistant agent 1 again. So I hope you are able to understand that exactly this is in a round robin manner. So let me zoom out. Yeah. So first agent, right? This is actually assistant agent. This is the name getting used. And then assistant agent 1. So something like this. It is happening. This, then this. It is going like this until 5 messages, including the user message, is done. Okay. So this is all on the basic workflow. Now, of course, we can go on to gallery, and we can copy this team as well, use as template. Now, this is a selector team. Let me just select this. In this, again, we are able to see that how we have the assistant agent and the particular this, again, this agent that provides assistant with the calculator, and this agent which is normally going to use any tool or something. Now, maybe what we can do is we can give it a calculator is there. Maybe we can give it some Google search tool. Okay, let us try to give it Google search tool. Now, what we can do is we understood this condition, and it is having the model as well, because if your team has to be smart in understanding where the request should be directed, it surely needs a model. Now, if I go on run, and let's say I ask it what is, let's say, can you search for the weather in, just a second, weather in New York? Let's see how it do this. Now see, it is processing it, and it is going to the assistant agent here. Okay, see, it is going to the assistant agent, and okay, I think it has given something and it has stopped. So we can see that why it stopped. Text terminate mentioned. That's why it has stopped. Just one thing I want to show you here is that how it will not be in some manner. Okay, so it will just totally be dependent on use case. The first one was not able to do, I think then it went to critique. And the reason for that is pretty straightforward. I have actually not mentioned in my, let's say, in the description here, that what exactly it does. Okay, so if I mention that, okay, this is a weather agent, uh, help to find the weather of the city, right? And if I save the changes, if I do save the changes, then let us try to run this again. What is the capital of France? Maybe we can run this again. Let's see. So it was actually done by assistant agent. Totally fine. Like as I said, like it can because this is a generic agent, if we just make our agent a lot more complex, that is how this selector team or selector group chat is going to perform. Okay. So with that, I think the two very basic teams are pretty done. Let us now move on to a little bit of advanced use cases. So let's go to gallery, and this time let's try to solve a complex use case, and you will see that how awesomely it is going to basically do these things now. Let me use this as a template. Let me quickly explain you the team, right? Now this is a web agent team. It is again a selector team, as we can see, because it is using this model. There can be different other teams as well, but for the basic prototyping use cases, it is pretty much on point, the one which I've told you. Here, now we have this multi-model web surfer agent. So web surfer agent is a multi-model agent, act as a web server that can search the web and visit the pages. Model is GPT-4 or mini only. Then we have the assistant agent that provides assistant with the tool use. So in case if I want to have some tool which specifically I want to use. And here we have the user proxy agent as well, an agent that can represent a human user through the input function. Okay, so this time you might see that it is asking us for the input in between, right? So as of now, whenever I asked for any task, it was not asking me anything, right? And the use case of that can be, let's say you are asking your team to write a poem, and in between you want to give some feedback that what exactly was the how exactly was the poem, do you want it shorter or longer, much like it happened in chat gpt or any llm. That is where the user proxy agent comes into picture. Or if you want to even stop it, we see this is a termination condition. So let's see what is the condition here. It is an or termination condition, so I think it will be, let me just go here. We can see that it is either 10 message, I believe, so 20 messages, and text is terminate. So if you want to stop, it will be terminate. And let me close this. Okay. Now let us try to run this. So let me actually run this from playground, as I believe that will be better for understanding. Can you find the best value money iPhone? So a little complex use case in okay, from Amazon India. Okay. So this is a question which I am asking, and let's see how it help us to answer this. Let me click this. Now we can see that how as of now just agent team has kind of answered. It is taking a time to understand the query and route it to the next good user. Now web surfer agent is kind of telling that what it does. I typed the best value iPhone site Amazon into the browser. It is using tokens. We can see that how it is exactly able to search these things, right? Then it is telling that okay, assistant agent, it looks like you have started searching no specific model or something, and it has come up with an answer. Okay, so let's see what exactly it is giving us. Web surfer agent then again went to this Amazon. So in the backend, it is going on to these places, right? That is how, and since it was a multimodal image and everything, it is able to handle. And yes, see best iPhone, and yeah, it is hopefully on the India location only. We can see the Bangalore. Good that it is not my exact pin address, else it would have been a little scary. And it is able to search on that, right? And then it is able to give me the answer. So you have accessed the Amazon India page for the best iPhones. Here are some notable options which you consider. Now, if I want, like there's a timer running, which is like for me to input it. I think after it will time out. If I'm happy with the result, which I honestly am, I can just say terminate, terminate. So we have to make sure of the spelling here, and it is going to stop. And we know that how by it stopped for terminate. Else, if I would not have done that, either if I have provided my assistant agent with this instruction, it would have given terminate. If not, if again not, then it would have went on for 20 messages, right? Since I'm happy and I'm actually impressed by the results, I'm able to stop it. One thing, if you try to run it on your end, you might face an error, which I also faced, and you might have to just install this library. Okay, so Playwright is an open source automation library for browser testing and web scraping developed by Microsoft. Okay, so it's just a requirement. You can just go and see how you can install it, okay, in the documentation or something. For me, it was simple playwright install. We have the npm yarn. All these things are basically there. In case it doesn't run, it can give you an error. So that is where it will be able to automate this searching and everything, right? As the name suggests. So that is the reason we use this thing. And we can see that how awesomely it ran, and generally it is able to give us the answer, which is this particular thing, because it has 14% off. And of course, we can make it a lot more smart with the better messages or something, right? And one thing more which you will notice here is that how it was able to delegate to me as a user. And that is where this user proxy agent is coming in. So user proxy agent is just us only. So user proxy, a proxy for the user, right? And yeah, I think we can go here, and we generally have understood many of the teams. Let's go to this deep research team as well, everyone. Now we can see this is a little bit different. So now it is actually a little bit different from the web agent team. Here we can see what are all the agents. We have the research assistant, an agent that provide assistance with the tool use. And I see that it has Google search and fetch web page as a tool, right? As the name suggests, it is very clear. Next, we have the assistant agent, an agent that provide assistant with the tool use. So this is a generic agent which can have the tool as well. Another assistant agent, okay, with tool use. So I think, and okay, this is where it has been mentioned. Deep research team, a team with three agent, a research assistant that performs web searches and analyzes information. Then a verifier that ensures research qualify and completeness, and a summary agent that provides a detailed markdown summary. So yeah, pretty much I think this makes a lot of sense. Again, since this is, I guess, yeah, so this is again a selector group chat one. I can go on the termination part and see what is the max limit. Sorry, this is terminate, and 30 is the limit. Let me keep it to 10 maybe, so that it doesn't keep on going on. And let us go save these changes. Okay. So yeah, that has been saved now. And let me ask a question. Let me go to playground maybe and have a deep research team, and it's a new session. Can you tell me? Okay, so I'm going to ask it a NBA related question, some league which I follow in basketball. Can you tell me who won the match between GSW and, so I don't know the full form of the next team, Minnesota Timber Wolves, today in NBA? Okay, so it's a little bit difficult query, like it's a lot based on the current information, but let's hope it holds up. Let me just go here and let me ask this. Okay, so pretty sure that uh, Minnesota would have won because the player is out. But let's see. So it is okay. It is going to result October 29, 23. Yeah, so let's see how it will be calling the search agent. Okay. So yeah, something has done. Let's see the information what it has given. As per the match between took place today, however, due to current, okay, so insert somewhere it has hallucinated. But one thing you will notice that how it has basically overall summarized the whole thing. So it has done everything here, and in the end, it has terminated it. So not able to find the answer. Maybe we will have to do the Google thing better. Okay, it says that missing required environment variables, that is Google API key and Google CSE ID. Okay, so I think that is very much fine. What is saying is that totally understood. I have done that in the overall team as well. So you need these keys, right? So for this Google search, if I go on this Google search, it's a long code, long big code, but it is going to require that key via which it can search Google. Okay, and these are the Google API key and CSE ID. Okay, so these keys actually you can get via a Google Cloud account. Unfortunately, I don't have that handy as of now, but I'm pretty sure that you understood. Like without the key as well, it is trying to work in the exact manner, right? It is the research assistant is telling us something. Then we have the summary agent, which is summarizing the whole thing, and then finally getting terminated, right? Now, once you normally just provide these keys, and I'm pretty sure that now you know this is the environment variable where I have to add these, right? So I can provide the name and the value, and they will surely get used in this. Or else we can just go to our agent, right? We can go to our agent here, and in this we can go to the tool, and yeah, pretty sure that we can easily just set it up here, right? So it is able to get these keys. Maybe we can do an edit. Yeah, we can do an edit, and we can surely set these keys up, right? And yeah, that is how it's going to awesomely work for you. Pretty sure that it is going to be able to search and do everything there, because it is pretty nicely set up by AutoGen here. Okay, so great everyone. Now let's actually continue and try to understand that how can we use any local LLMs, right? So if you have via Olama or say LLM Studio, have any local LLM running, then how can you also integrate that or use that basically in your AutoGen Studio? So for that, let me bring the LLM Studio. So I actually have the Mistral model. Now if you will go here, let me select the round robin group chat, and actually I've deleted an agent here, and rather what we can do is I can create a new team. Okay, so this is the new team which we have here, everyone. Now in this, if we go on models, we see that how we have this Mistral 7B provided. Okay, so I can just drag and drop this, and now it's going to use this Mistral 7B instead, and it is for the local already, right? So if we go on the JSON, we can see the same thing. uh, So yeah, this is where all the information about the model is mentioned. Label is there. Then we have the config and all the model infos as well as the base URL, right? So any model which I think uses that OpenAI chat completion client, you should be good to use. Let me go to the LLM Studio, and first I actually went and downloaded this model, this Mistral 7B instruct, right? So it was again very easily downloadable. After that, what I did was just I made sure that I start this server and I'm able to load my model into this particular server. Okay, started on the 1234 only. Okay, so by default we see that how it is on 1234 port, and we can see more information about this in the developer tab. Here we have the name and everything. So let me just clear this out maybe. Yeah, great. So in this, we have the name and everything, model identifier for the API usage, as well as the local server where it is running, right? So now what we can do with this information, I can go to my team in the manner. Uh, Ideally, you can make changes here as well, but I think we have a better way of doing this. We can go to our team. Okay. In this, if we go on the model client, we can configure the model, right, everyone? So I just have copied this name, right? Let us copy and paste this name. And you can see the information Mistral 7B local, Mistral 7B model for client instruction based generation. And maybe you can easily test it out, right? So seems like the same is working. If I say change anything, maybe I make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and I test it out, then of course it is going to take a lot of time, right? Component test failed because my model is running on this particular base URL. That is why it is required. You can change this name here, although I found that the default one was also working, right? But feel free to change this name here. Just one thing. So in my overall run, I have found that this model is a lot unstable. But still, let us try to maybe check it out, because we have to understand just how we can use this local LM in the AutoGen Studio. So let us run this, and maybe we can ask it what is the capital of France. Now, the good thing, we have the conditions here. So let me see the termination condition. Yeah. So we have the overall or termination condition mentioned, in which we know that it will be either max message, which is, let me make it 5 because I know the model is a lot unstable. I will tell you if like it shows me the result like it was showing me in the LLM Studio. Now let me run this and let us ask what is the capital of France. Okay. So yeah, great. So it is running. Let us see. And we can see in the logs as well. So seems like, yeah, something is happening here. And this was the instability which I'm talking about. Surely we could use some other model, but I believe that is not the point here. So yeah, I think what we see here is calling calculator tool with arguments. Okay, so France, and then many things are happening. Let me do one thing. Let me just get rid of this tool as well, because tool doesn't make a sense here. Let us save the changes. Let us save these changes. Always make sure that you save the changes. Like there will be a red dot if you don't. And let me run this again. What is the capital of France? Let it run. Okay, yes, taking a lot of time, but seems like something is happening. So yeah, some strange thing shortly is happening. Let us see that. Yeah, so that is what I actually meant by the unstable thing, right? It is having a lots of token here, right? Now you can change the LLM Studio to basically have this thing context and all these things, but I guess that is not the point here, right? And we see the output here, everyone. In the output, we see the capital city of France is Paris. Then by default, it is creating some more tasks for it. So seems like a lot eager model to do the task. It is asking then convert £5 to euros. So again, like as I said, but that is not the point. I think that is all working pretty fine. And yeah, we are able to use our model. One thing more. So while setting up, you might face an error, right? So let me just mention that in the VS code. So if we go on this particular part, right, you might face an error in let's say setting it up with this respect to this particularly. So the error was something like this. Let me just copy paste that for you. This was the error, right? So some Jinja template related error. Again, either you can easily search it on the web, or the fix for this, because I want that each and every one of you are able to run this. The fix for this is to have this Jinja template. Okay. Now, again, no need to go a lot deep into this. You can just go to your LLM Studio. In this, we can go on to my models, and here we can just make this change. So if I let's say go to settings, and if I go on the prompt, this is where we have to present this Jinja template, and then it will not give that error. Okay, so something again which I faced, you might or might not faced it. But again, the idea is that if I am showing you something, you should be easily able to just replicate that thing. Okay. So yeah, with that, I think we have covered a lot with proper understanding in AutoGen Studio. And now I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of idea about AutoGen in general as well, because I've explained you the templates and all the components in that. So if we go on the AutoGen Studio homepage, I think this is all what you will find. Just there is a FAQ as well. So you can see that how few things I mentioned, like how do I specify the directory, which I think we have already covered, the app directory thing. Then other models, I think we have covered most of the models. So the GPT-4o Mini, then OpenAI, Azure OpenAI. Again, you can easily copy paste these things or maybe set it up in the UI. Anthropic, and then the local models as well, right? So something which we use right now, the Mistral 7B1 and localhost 1. Okay, so then I think UI part and everything should be totally good. With the different database, as I told you in the starting, this database URI is something which can be changed. Again, a little bit advanced, but few parameters which, as I said, if you are using a UI, you should have an idea of the parameters, right? And then I think these are some basic things how you can use this Python thing. So let me just show you that as well, and to run it in a container. So yeah, pretty straightforward things. We have covered almost all the things in the usage as well, everyone. Now, though I told you that how it is a no-code tool and everything, I just want to show you one quick thing as well, everyone. That is, let's say this is a code which I have just took from this official documentation only, which you can also find. And the idea is that again, you can define and work with the AutoGen irrespective of the studio as well, right? So for that, if you want that, you can use. So let me just run this. Let me run this. Okay, what is the error? Open AI key model. Okay, so I think yeah, we have not provided the key. Let me do that. So if you go on model API key, we can see that how we have the open sorry, key or something should be the yeah, API key. Okay, so what we can do is we just have to provide our API key here, which of course this will be using. And yeah, I believe it should be somewhere this environment file. Let me just see this and copy it. I could have loaded that via environment as well, but I think this should be fine. And yeah, maybe we can run it now. And again, this has provided us with this JSON, right? Let me just try to copy it maybe and see if it is going to give us something. So I've just copied this JSON, everyone, and let's go to the studio and let's go to this. Okay. Yeah. So first, I think now validate team is something which may help us, and we can save it. And if I go on this now, I think yeah. So it has changed, right? Weather agent and GPT-4 Mini. So yeah, the idea is pretty simple. Just if you will try to understand this code, let me just explain to you quickly. Again, we have just defined a assistant agent. You can surely define user, proxy agent, and everything like this. The name, the model client, which is your OpenAI GPT-4 Mini. Then we are defining a team round robin group chat with a single agent and the termination condition, which is text mention termination, something which we have seen. And yes, then we are just dumping this as a component and finally able to load. Like we are just printing this JSON, something which I copy pasted, right? What that also mean is that you can uh, kind of design your whole team here, right? And then use it by loading it. So just like we have this dump component, okay, I'm pretty sure that we have something, let's say load component, right? So yeah, load component is also there where we can provide the config. Okay, so whatever this config is, maybe we can just dump it as a JSON or save it, and then we can load it directly. Why I said kind of, because if we go on the AutoGen page, if we go on the studio homepage, there is a very good warning mentions that it is meant for rapid prototyping of multi-agent workflows and demonstrate an example of end user interface built with AutoGen, right? Not meant to be production ready app, though, as I've shown you, like we were able to solve pretty good use cases as well. And surely, like all these no code tools, they might have some overall limitation or less control, but in my experience of using AutoGen extensively, I have found AutoGen Studio pretty awesome. You can genuinely create some good use case which is helping you day every day, and maybe for minor production use cases. But yes, this is something which is present as a caution, so I think it is very important for you to know. That doesn't mean that you don't have to learn about AutoGen Studio or AutoGen. As you have seen, some good use cases we were able to execute. Developers are encouraged to use AutoGen framework. So I think that is pretty fine from someone who is building it, because they will always want that you are understanding and using it in proper, in its full glory, right? So yeah, that is the whole idea, everyone. And I have shown you that with the code as well, that how it is kind of compatible, right? We are able to now load our agent just by this JSON. And yeah, we can do the vice versa as well. We can save this JSON, or let's say download our team from this, which holds good for other teams as well, right? So that was the whole idea. I guess we have covered each and every of these things, right? All the parts which we have to understand. And we have like seen all the components of the UI. We have understood each and every of these components in depth on our this board, right? So I will just zoom it out for you. So we saw that how exactly what are agents, what are the teams, understanding each and every one of them so that we don't randomly drag and drop them. Then understanding that how can we run some complex use cases in the web agent team, right? Deep research team, if you could have provide our Google API with a Google Cloud account, surely that will also work. And of course, how to run it with the LLM, local LLM, which we have hosted via LLM Studio, or let's say via Olama. Okay. And please make sure that you, before you like test it out, you just go and make sure that your model, okay, it is properly working. So your model is working here. I think here we have not presented the key, should be fine. Like maybe that didn't got exported. We can just mention it here, because when I was setting it up in my local using the local thing, if I just show you again, so when I was using this Mistral 7B, I was facing some issue, which is not easily checkable, right? So we just get an error, right? So it's always better that again you first go to this configure model and test it up, and it shows you that yes, it is working. Okay. So with that, I'm pretty sure that now you have a very, very good, awesome, in-depth idea about AutoGen Studio. And as I said, coming from Microsoft, this is surely a very good framework which you should use, right? And which can help us to automate things and also solve tasks. Great. So everyone, I hope that that was pretty much helpful, and please make sure that you try it out yourself. I think all the parts and everything which is there I have covered properly, so you should not have any issues in running it at your end. Please make sure that you download the code files, okay, the error, because if you face some error, especially that Jinja one, which took me a lot of time to solve, you are able to solve, you are able to basically run through that. And please make sure that you execute all the things which I have shown you here, and surely you will understand the true power of AutoGen once you run it yourself. Okay, so please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share this channel and video to anyone who is trying to create their first agent, or anyone who is trying to understand or get into the world of agentic AI. Because AutoGen, coming from Microsoft, is a very awesome, strong framework which is getting more and more adapted in the industry. So surely that is going to be helpful. And yeah, do subscribe to my channel, as I will be coming up with more and more videos explaining about AutoGen as well in depth. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Now let's meet in the next video.